Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Connection Corner. I am Barb Nagel, and I'm the Community Manager of Known Co-working, where I am broadcasting from. This is only my second time doing the show from the physical space. I've been doing it from my office at home for over a year now, and I'm really happy to be back in the space. I'll be here every Wednesday and Friday afternoon, and I hope you'll come and meet me in person and join me. And if you're fully vaccinated, I'd love to hug you too. So today I am going to welcome Rosa Carrasco-Vergara, who is a virtual assistant, onto the show. But before I bring her on and introduce her, I want to tell you a little bit about Known. So it's a dynamic co-working community to connect entrepreneurs across their fields of expertise, endeavors, and experiences. And though we started as a co-working space in downtown New Haven, and we're still the only co-working space downtown, we had to move our community onto the virtual world once the quarantine started. As a reminder, Known Co-working has hourly, daily, and monthly plans for dedicated desks and office spaces, as well as conference rooms and Zoom rooms available for rent. If you are interested in any of that stuff, feel free to send me an email. That's barb@knowncoworking.com. You can also check us out on our website, which is nhvknown.com, or follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Known Co-working. Now, I mentioned that we moved our community online during the pandemic, and as a result, we have 3 virtual programs. We have this one, we have Digital Media Sync and Pivot Talk. You can catch free replays of all of our episodes of all of our shows on our website under Known Live. So Digital Media Sync is your window to the digital world. It's hosted by Julia Gambale. She is the social media maven of Agents of Branding. Pivot Talk is a virtual stage for businesses to share and learn as they grow. And this show, The Connection Corner, is a place for entrepreneurs, creators, thinkers, and innovators to share how they support the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Greater New Haven. If you or anyone you know would like to be featured on any one of these shows, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me again at my email, barb@knowncoworking.com. Our purpose in both physical and virtual spaces is to make connections between people. We're here to help you get connected, inspired, and known. Speaking of Known, I host virtual networking every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. You can find the link to that on our website, nhvknown.com, and click on events. And if you scroll down to our calendar, you'll see the image for virtual networking. Click on that, it'll take you to the link. And I am now hosting every Friday in person at the space, happy hour networking. And I would love for you to join us. It's for entrepreneurs and professionals in the New Haven area. We're at 139 Orange Street. And please join me for either or both of these events because we want to get you connected and known. Now, I would like to introduce Rosa. I want to start by telling you that she's a virtual assistant for solo professionals and small businesses. She is a customer service expert. She began her career at the corporate level 15 years ago. She has since learned that her passion for helping others is better satisfied as she works with solo professionals and small businesses. And for that reason, Rosa founded Personalized e-Assistant Services. While her main goals are to free up time and give her clients peace of mind, they credit her with making it easier to succeed in a world that gets more complicated each day. Assisting solopreneurs to organize, simplify, and execute their day-to-day operations and provide support as they move forward are some of Rosa's responsibilities. Skilled in business processes, she manages projects and creates instructions and procedures. Her clients appreciate her ability to anticipate problems and find solutions. While Rosa excels at helping clients with business challenges, she is equally skilled at helping individuals free up their time at home. An expert problem solver, clients report that she can think outside the box, and they frequently credit her for making the impossible happen. So without further ado, I bring you Rosa Carrasco-Vergara.
Yay, Barb, the way you pronounced my name, that was great.
Oh, thank you. I told her I wanted to practice because I am a fan of pronouncing people's names correctly. even if they're difficult to say. So, full disclosure, everybody, Rosa is my virtual assistant, which is one of the reasons I wanted to bring her on, because she has saved me time and time again. And the word that comes to mind all the time when I think of Rosa is relief. So I'm going to let her, she has a presentation that she's going to show with you. I'm sure I'm going to have all kinds of questions for you at the end. Do you want to say a few words before you jump into your presentation, or do you want to jump right in?
Yes, no, I wanted to thank you for this opportunity. I'm usually in the back end of things, behind the scenes. So to do this is really great. Thank you so much. And I'm excited to share with you about my world and what's like to work with a virtual assistant.
Okay.
So now I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, and I'll share that. I'll let it come into the
okay.
live stream when you're ready. Okay, here we go.
All right. Well, so let's start by defining what a virtual assistant or who is a virtual assistant, and the acronym is VA. So if you hear me say VA, it's because I'm referring to a virtual assistant. So the common definition is someone that provides professional, administrative, technical, or creative assistance to a variety of clients remotely. However, the definition that I like the most is someone you might not see in person that can become the most trusted asset for your business. And why do I think that way? Well, if you're a solo professional, that means that in most cases you're running the show on your own. And your VA can be the first member on your team. And when you have a team, you can share the workload, you can get different ideas, perspectives, and you can handle challenges faster and more efficiently. And with that, you're going to experience more productivity, higher performance, less stress, and that to me is extremely valuable. So who does a VA serve? Typically, we help solo professionals. It doesn't matter what the industry is, and small business owners. But in general, we help people that cannot afford or don't need a full-time employee. Maybe they just need support during busy seasons from time to time. We help people that are working on ad hoc projects or big projects, and they need that extra support. We help those that are spending more time working on administrative stuff instead of working on things that create more revenue and that will make their business grow. We also help those that have lost the excitement of running their business because they're not spending time doing things that they love or what they're good at. So they start feeling overwhelmed because they're trying to do everything on their own. We also have clients whose businesses start expanding at a fast pace, and those that can't keep up. So sometimes people start forgetting to get important administrative tasks done, or they're taking too long to complete them. All right, so how do VAs help new and established entrepreneurs? For entrepreneurs, as you know, it can be a challenge trying to handle everything by themselves. They can make their business grow on their own, but at some point they will reach a ceiling and they will need help. They might even need help at the beginning stages of the business. So if a person is thinking about starting a new business, working with a VA can be beneficial. For instance, your VA can do research work for you. They can find out if you need a license to run your business. They can find out what documentation you need to submit to the state so that you can stay in compliance. They can help you fill out those documents, set up appointments, meetings, create your email signature or electronic signature. They can help you with electronic calendar setup and things of that nature. Also, they can help you with if there's any market research that needs to be done. They can help you with that, with any potential client outreach that you might want to do. So those are just a few examples that I can think of that when you're starting your business, your VA can help you with. When it comes to established entrepreneurs. So if you've been in business for a while, and you are more established, a VA can do a lot for you, a lot. I'm not gonna go into detail about every single service that we provide because that would take too long, but I can give you, it really is a variety of things. But I can give you a few examples of what I do for clients. So I love, and I was talking to you, Barb, about this earlier. I love organizing people's messes. So I love organizing Google Drives, CRMs, electronic files. I love email handling, calendar management, translating documents. And those are just a few simple, basic examples. There's a lot more complicated things that VAs can do. But in general, virtual assistants can help you with or can help you accomplish more than the administrative task itself, more than the technical task itself. We can help clients free up their busy schedules for more desirable activities. We help them create time for themselves. If they're going on vacation or if they're going to be out of the office, they can delegate stuff to us and enjoy their time off. We support clients when they're expanding their business, and we help them stay organized and on track. We help them create a strong team with the right skill set. We provide peace of mind in a stressful environment. When clients are getting annoyed or frustrated by the task at hand or it's taking them too long to complete, we can take those responsibilities off their plate. We also help clients feel less stressed and fatigued due to long work hours and heavy workload. We can create effective and streamlined processes that lead to better utilization of resources. If you need us to, we can act as accountability partners, and I've done that a lot for clients. And we can also help you brainstorm because we come to the table with fresh ideas and a different perspective. All right, so now that you know how you can benefit from working with a VA, the next question that you might ask yourself is, what do I need to look for in hiring a VA? There are a few things that you need to take into consideration. The first one would be knowledge and experience. Ask yourself, can this VA provide the service that I want to delegate? Do they have the knowledge? Do they have the experience? Have they done it before? Number two would be skill set. So besides the technical skills, which are really important, there are other few skills to keep in mind. For instance, a good VA has excellent communication skills. For us VAs, it's important to get to know our clients and to be good listeners. We need to ask our clients how and how often do they want to communicate. That way we show up for them when they need it and in a way that works best for them. Another skill would be self-discipline. We need to be self-disciplined because nobody's looking over our shoulders. Most of the time we work at home by ourselves, so we need to make sure that we stay on track. So, we have to make sure that we manage our own calendars effectively in order to create a structure for ourselves, prioritize assignments, and meet deadlines. Problem solving is also a good skill to have. Our days are not always going to be the same, especially if we're working on multiple projects for different people. We have to be creative problem solvers and stay on top of our game to move things along. And another skill that VAs need to have is quick thinking and effective decision making. Decisions are part of our daily work. For those of us that own our own, that have our own business, we have to make decisions as business owners and on behalf of our clients when it comes to their work. So quick thinking and effective decision making are a must. Another thing to take into consideration when you're looking to hire a VA is their strengths. What are the tasks that are easy for that person to do? What comes natural to them? What's their zone of genius? And the last thing would be connection. Do you have a similar work style? Do you have the same values? Do you have similar mindsets? Is there chemistry in your personalities? And these are questions that you can that you'll be able to answer once you have that consultation or a discovery call with your VA. And you won't get to know that person, entirely, but you can get a sense of how they think and how they work. All right. So now that you know what to look for in a VA, I'm going to share with you some of the do's and don'ts of working with a virtual assistant. So this is good advice for people that have never worked with a VA before, and for people that are currently working with a VA. Let's start with the do's. Stay in touch. This is key in any environment, but it's crucial in a virtual environment where people can easily disappear. This helps clients and VAs to be on the same page, especially when working on long or ongoing projects. It also provides reassurance to clients that things will get done, and it can help VAs obtain answers quickly and get their job done on time. You can stay in touch via email. So if you're constantly working with your VA, it's okay to stay in touch via email. That's fine because you're always communicating. But if you don't really talk to your VA on a weekly basis or daily basis, only from time to time, maybe a quick monthly check-in with each other would be a good idea. Another do would be give your virtual assistant plenty of notice. So if you have an idea of how long a task usually takes, give your virtual assistant enough notice to complete the job. That way you're setting up your VA for success, and also you know that your expectations are going to be met. If you have no idea how long it will take to complete a job, my suggestion to you would be to ask your VA to do it once, and then you'll have an idea of how much notice they will need from you. Also, when delegating work to your VA, provide the necessary tools for a successful job. Provide your username and password if they're going to need them. Make sure that you send the content that they will need to create your newsletter on time, or the pictures that they will need to update your website. Sometimes it's the little things that count and the little things that add up. And if you take care of those things, you're going to save a lot of time. And another do would be give clear instructions. Some people like following step-by-step written instructions. I'm one of them. And they can be really helpful. And, if they're good, if they're well written, you might not even need a meeting to go over a new process. Some other people respond well to visual instructions, meaning screenshots or videos. But whatever method you choose, be clear on what you want, and also be clear on the deadline. All right, let's move on to the don'ts. Don't expect your VA to handle all the responsibilities you don't want to handle. And like I said, or like I talked about before, we all have a zone of genius. And to be the best, we want to spend most of our time there. So if you're looking for a VA because you have too many tasks that you want to delegate, ask yourself first, will I need more than one VA? Will I need a VA that can handle my calls, my calendar, meetings, research work, and another VA that can handle my social media and graphic design? Sometimes, in some occasions, one person can't take care of everything that you need to delegate. So if you're at a point in your business where you need to start outsourcing more and more, my suggestion to you would be make a list of all those responsibilities, group them into different categories, and make sure you hand them over to VAs that are great at those tasks. Don't misuse time. Don't misuse your time and your VA's time. So let me give you an example. If you have asked your VA to schedule meetings to meet with them and you're always running late, or you always cancel at the last minute, or you're a no-show all the time, then precious time starts getting wasted. We all have last minute things that happen, and other priorities that come up. That's understandable. But if you work with the VA, it's important to be respectful of their time and let them know in advance that you won't make it to a meeting. And VAs have the responsibility to do the same. And this is how you start building trust faster. Also, don't assume that your VA can read your mind, even if you've been working together for a while. If there are any changes to a process, let your VA know as soon as possible. Keep your VA in the loop of any new processes or any changes, and this will help you avoid mistakes. And don't treat everything as an emergency. Emergencies are inevitable. They're part of life, and that's okay. But it's important to differentiate between a priority request and an emergency. Priority requests are things that have to get done within a day or two. And I'm not talking about lengthy projects that are going to require your VA to spend the next 2 days just working on that project. Emergencies, on the other hand, should happen once in a while. They should not be happening every week or every Friday at 5 p.m. No, nobody likes that. Just like you, your VA also has other deadlines and priorities and commitments outside of work. So my suggestion to you is use your emergency card wisely. Okay, so this is my last slide. I wanted to finish my presentation with a quote that says, "The back end of your business is what people don't get to see. But like the roots of a tree, it needs to be strong." And I truly believe that the back end is the foundation of any business. So it's important to make it strong, even if it's not visible to others. And with that, Barb, I finished my presentation. I hope this information was helpful to you and to people that are watching.
Absolutely. I'm realizing that I have the stay tuned banner on the background there still. So thank you. That was wonderful. Tons of great information, especially if somebody doesn't even know what a virtual assistant is. And I know there's a few things, that I want to say. And one is, you talked about like not doing things at the last minute. And there's a popular quote that says something like, "Lack of planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part." And that sounds like sort of what you're talking about. And then in terms of making assumptions, don't, expect people to read your mind. I literally just published an article this past week on Medium about making assumptions and how that was really about interpersonal relationships and how you can't have true intimacy with someone else when you're making assumptions about who they are without actually asking them. And it really just does not lend itself to meaningful relationships, and that can be true in the world, in the professional world as well. And I do have a couple questions, but I want to share some concrete examples with people about what's happened, like in my relationship with Rosa. So when I met her, we're both members of the Collaboration of Minority Women Professionals, and I met her at a luncheon, and we had a coffee date, and I was like, "I don't need you yet, but I'm going to be needing you." And I think the first thing I started with was having you do the webinars with me. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
So I hosted webinars, and I needed someone to do the technical stuff while I was talking. And she was like, "Oh, I've never done that before," but she hopped right into it. And then I think the next big thing, I had been trying to figure out how to use PandaDocs, which is the e-sign software that I use. And I'm a researcher, and I just could not figure it out. And she figured it out in like 2 seconds. So it really showed me like she's willing to step up and like do what needs to be done. She's also really efficient. I don't know how she gets things done as quickly as she does, but the thing that I love the most is that I'm able to assign recurring tasks to her. And what I was telling her, we just had we have a monthly just 15-minute call. It may go over with like it did today, but that way we at least have it on our calendars that every month we're going to check in. And one of the things I was saying to her is that I'm getting better and better at recognizing when it's time for me to pass a task on to Rosa. But the main way that I've gotten better is I have 2 coaches who say, can you pass it on to Rosa? Can you pass it on to your VA? And so I'm getting like sensitized to that. So a couple of things she does for me is, one, I have a podcast. So she does my social media promotion every Tuesday after it comes out. She posts in my feed, in my story, and on Instagram and on Facebook. And then she also creates what's called a headliner, which is one of those, it's a brief video that has like the audio lines on it. And she creates that from the material I send to her, and that goes on Friday. She also does my monthly newsletter. And so this morning, part of the conversation was, she told me she had another client that asked, what do you enjoy doing? And I was like, oh, that's a great question. Tell me what you enjoy doing. And she mentioned how she likes cleaning up other people's messes, and she likes organizing files and stuff. And I was like, well, I've just started moving stuff from Google Drive to Evernote, and I'm not really happy with the way I started structuring it. And it's early enough in the process that it's not a complete mess, but I would love your eye on how to do it. She already got back to me. I haven't read it yet, but I saw the message and I saw you had a list of things. So it's just such an enormous relief, because now that I don't have to do those things, my job, my zone of genius is creating content. So I create content, and Rosa takes care of the tasks that need to be done. Like, they need to be done on a weekly basis to keep sort of the machine going. But I'm freed up to do my content creation, which is what I really need to do. So I thought it might be helpful for people to hear some like concrete ways in which, in which people work.
That's great. So, thank you.
Yeah. Did you want to add anything to the stuff that I said there?
No, I mean, that was great. And that's really my main goal when I started this business was, okay, so how can I help people have peace of mind and less stress? Because I know what it's like to, run your business on your own. You're doing everything. You're touching the marketing stuff, sales, you're doing everything. You're creating content. So I realized that, okay, I can help those people with the admin stuff. And sometimes it's like, it could be simple stuff, it could be difficult stuff, but when you're stuck, it's time consuming, to just get something done. So I realized, okay, this is how I can help them. So I'm glad that I'm able to accomplish that with you and with other clients.
Yeah, and it's really, really helpful. And the other thing is that because she's been working with me for so long now, she not only understands me, but she understands my business, my material, my content and stuff. So, for example, one of the things I was really pleasantly surprised was I was looking at one of those headliner posts on Friday, and she put a hashtag on there that I've never used before. And I was like, oh my God, that's great. So she's she's actually being conscientious and taking initiative and all that kind of thing. And I really appreciate that. And I also have come to trust her. So like, for example, I just recently decided to change some things around in my newsletter. And I was like, I don't know, what do you think? Like, she does more newsletters than I do, so I don't know. And I really appreciated her, her input on that. I do want to say that, if you're watching live, we'd love it if you would plop a comment or a question in the comments. But even if you're watching the recording, you can go ahead and leave a comment. And if it's for Rosa, we can get it to her. Or you can email her. I just put her email address. It's rosa@peassistance.com. Or you can also find her on Facebook at PE Assistance. And she's also on Instagram. I think is it that same address on Instagram?
Yes.
Yeah. So one question that came up for me, because I first read about personal assistants, virtual assistants, in Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week. And he was actually advocating that people work with someone who is like in another region of the world where the salaries are much less, and it's usually an agency. You don't necessarily have the same VA all the time. There's not that like relationship building thing. And so I said to Rosa, like, tell me, why I should work with you as opposed to doing one of those things. So I'm guessing that that's a question that you may have gotten from other people before. The other thing I want to say is I know Rosa. Like I met Rosa in person. So that, like I told you, I had coffee with her because I was basically vetting her to see, like, is this somebody that I want to work with? So, that's not like, if you're in Connecticut, you could actually meet Rosa. If you're not, you can still work with her. But anyway, let you answer the question.
Yes, I actually read the same book. And so I'm not really, let me start by saying this. I don't know how other VAs that work uh, for a big company work. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what their values are, what the experience is. So in other words, I don't know what's like to work for an organization as a VA. So I can't make the comparison, but I can tell you this. I'm not an employee working for a company to get a paycheck temporarily. I'm here to stay, and and like you said, I can be reached directly through email, cell phone, social media. If we have the opportunity to meet in person, great. Or we have Zoom, and that works too. Since I'm the owner of my business and I'm trying to build it, I go the extra mile to make sure that the execution, the delivery, and the integrity of my work remain intact. I have experience working with startups and also with companies that are in their that are growing, that are expanding. And like you said in the intro, customer service is a top priority for me. I address issues and things that come up quickly, and I resolve problems in a timely manner. And I'm always there for my clients. And my main goal is to give them peace of mind, to get things done, and to help them get unstuck and help them move forward. And the reputation of my company is very important to me. So I make sure that the work that I do meets my clients' expectations at all times.
Great. So let's say somebody wants to work with a VA. What's the best way to find one?
So the first thing that I would do is I would go to places where VAs hang out, and I will reach out to people that already work with one. If you're on social media, you can follow VA groups on Facebook or LinkedIn. You can follow your favorite VAs on Instagram. You can read their content, watch their videos, their stories, and see if you connect with them, if they can do the things that you want them, that you need. Ask your network, reach out to other business owners, mentors, business coaches, friends, and other solo professionals that have had an experience with a VA or that are currently working with one. In my opinion, referrals are the best way to find the people that you can trust. And also you can go to workshops or networking events. That's how we met. There's many VAs that are speakers. And if they're not speakers, they're there networking. So, workshops and networking events are two great places where you can meet your potential VA if if that's helpful to you.
Yeah, something in what you just said reminded me, and I can't remember if this was in your intro or not, but Rosa is bilingual, and so she can translate business documents from English to Spanish and Spanish to English. My guess is there's not a ton of bilingual VAs out there, and so if that's a need that you have, I don't know if there really are or not. The other thing that I don't, like, I'm happy to ask this as a question for you. I don't know how comfortable you are, but I want to say, like, one of the questions is about affordability. Like, people thinking like, oh, I can't afford, like, I'm too new, I can't afford a virtual assistant. So I want to share how I've thought about it.
Sure.
Which is, I decide on a dollar amount in my head that I think my time is worth, not how much I charge my clients per hour, because I'm a consultant and a coach. So that's like, my hourly wage for them is much higher than I would think if I was working a job and I would want to get paid. And if my virtual assistant can cost me that much or less, it is absolutely worth my time to hire someone. Because one of the things I talk about, I train people on boundaries. In fact, I forget to say this all the time. I am actually the founder and CEO of Higher Power Coaching and Consulting. and the host of a podcast called Fragmented to Whole: Life Lessons from 12-Step Recovery. And I never mentioned that on this show, but I'm an entrepreneur. And one of the things I train about is boundaries. And we talk about how we have these different types of property or resources: time, money, love, and energy. And that some of us don't have good boundaries around those resources, around those properties of ours. And what I tell people is the boundary that I have that's the tightest is around my time, because I can't generate more. I can generate more love, money, and energy, but I cannot generate more time. But as we were talking today, I'm like, actually, I can create time, because you said that in your presentation. The way I can create time is pay Rosa to do things that I would normally do, but I've created time for myself. So there is a way to create more time, and that is to pay somebody to do things that you, especially recurring tasks, because then you can pass it off to them and they do it on a consistent basis. You don't have to meet with them on a regular basis to say, hey, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. You don't have to describe the new project. You know that it's going to be done. I was shocked one time. I went and looked at I hadn't downloaded my own podcast for 5 weeks because I'm not paying attention to it, because I don't have to. So anyway, if you want to say anything about, because I know some people, they don't even know what VAs charge. They just automatically assume I can't afford it. So I don't know if that's a question that you get from people or you want to address here.
No, I mean, your answer was good, was on point. And I think the same way, because I have to hire people sometimes as well. So if I'm wasting energy on something and I'm not doing it well, then I pass it on. And I'm okay with paying that other person. And, I do believe in the power of delegation. So so I think we have the same mindset when it comes to that, when it comes to paying someone to do work that you can even do. You might even enjoy doing the admin stuff, but if it's not really the main part of your business, then why should you? Why would you keep doing it?
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because in my career, I had a lot of jobs, but my main career was I worked at Yale for 19 years. And one of the pieces of feedback I got from people all the time was I was not good at delegating things. And so I finally was like, I need to listen to this. And I really took a look at, why don't I want to delegate? And one was that I had this idea that nobody could do it as well as I could. And then I realized, my entire team are highly competent people. Honestly, Rosa is better at some of my stuff than I am. Thank God. So then if you really think that nobody can do it as good as you, then you have other problems, because that's perfectionism, and that's really not going to serve you as a business owner. Number two was I had a boss that would delegate things at the last minute to me. And I think of it as I took the hit for my team. I didn't want to pass things on at the last minute to the rest of my team because I felt like it was unfair. So I did it. And then when I looked at that, I was like, well, wait a minute. They know me. They know my style. They know I'm a planner. If I'm giving them something at the last minute, it's not me. It's from her. And they know that, right? And then my third thing, which you just alluded to, which is what reminded me of this, is I had certain things that I just loved doing. So I love making a flyer, let me tell you. I love creating a flyer. Well, I was the program coordinator of urban education, prevention, and policy research. And my purview was over the programming and the research and evaluation of the project. I really shouldn't be making flyers. We have an administrative assistant for that. So the way that I landed with that was, if I have plenty of time, I can create a flyer. But if I'm crunched for time, I can't do it. And so, you might want to ask yourself, if you're not delegating things, why are you not delegating them? And Rosa gave you all kinds of wonderful tips of the do's and don'ts for a VA and the kinds of questions to ask them. So find the right person. I feel like Rosa is absolutely the right person for me. Maybe she's not the right person for you. And then the last thing I want to say is I think the personal referral really helps. The fact that I met her at a networking event, so I got to know her a little bit, and then we had coffee together. And then I asked her for references. So that's another thing. Even if you can't get a personal reference, you can ask the VA to give you references from some of the other people.
Yes.
So I think that's all I want to say. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off for today?
No, I think I'm good, and I wanted to thank you again, Barb, for doing this, for inviting me. Again, you always find a way to get me out of my comfort zone in a good way. I love it. I
Awesome.
actually enjoy doing this. Thank you.
Oh, good. Okay. So if you don't mind sticking around for a minute, I am going to take you off screen while I close out, but if you wouldn't mind sticking around for a minute, I'd
Sure.
appreciate that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Rosa.
You're
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you got a lot out of it, and I encourage you to reach out to Rosa or another VA if she doesn't seem like the right one for you. I want to remind you that next Tuesday at 8:30 on Digital Media Sync, we have another show. It's every Tuesday, but this week Julie is bringing back Chris Tonsky. It's been a while since she's been on. She's both a web designer and a web developer, and she'll be talking about Rock Your Website, web design and functionality elements for success. So I hope we'll see you online for that. And don't forget, even if you're watching the recording, you can go ahead and leave comments. And with that being said, I'm going to sign off for today. I hope to see you either on Mondays for virtual networking or on Fridays for happy hour networking here at Known Co-working, which is 139 Orange Street in downtown New Haven, and we're on the 4th floor. Take care now.